take us back to October 16th, 2010.
Fractured my C3, C4 vertebrae, and honestly, scariest moment of my life. Yeah, I say being an athlete has trained me and strengthened my mental toughness beyond measures I could even imagine.
From Eric Legrand, who drags him down at the 20-yard line. Then a sack for Legrand.
I have my faith and my belief that, if you do good in this world, you put good out there, good things will come your way.
You're an inspiring figure, an entrepreneur with Legrand Coffee, Legrand Whiskey, you're a philanthropist, and so much more.
Tried my first cup of coffee in August of 2020. And our goal is we want to bring unity to the community with a daily cup of belief.
What made you be like, all right, I love coffee, now let me get into whiskey?
I just felt like it's something that fits me. It takes time, patience, precision, aging in those barrels. It's something that's tough and gritty. We tried it was liquid gold.
How do you fight those inner demons? How do you push through that adversity in your own mind?
You know where you are! This is the Outliers Podcast. Let's go!
Well, I appreciate you welcoming us to your home, man. Well,
I appreciate you guys making the trip out here because I knew that I couldn't get up there. But I guess when we were trying to schedule the date that day and that, but I'm glad you guys made the trip.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, if anything, we have actually another bagel shop around in New Brunswick. You just opened up actually on Rutgers campus. So Hoboken, I know, is my home base, but now Rutgers is becoming a new home for us, and it's been amazing, dude.
It's literally right in between, we're right between Hoboken and New Brunswick right here in Avenel.
Well, it's an honor to meet you, man, because, on the way here, to be completely honest with you, I was nervous to meet you. I genuinely mean that, man, because we've talked to so many inspiring people, and I just feel like your story is just so inspiring and what you've been able to overcome. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Karen. You're an inspiring figure, an entrepreneur with Legrand Coffee, Legrand Whiskey, you're a philanthropist, and so much more. And on top of that, dude, we're the same age, man. And I remember following your story throughout that time. Obviously being at Rutgers at the same time, I was in college as well. I'm so curious to look back on. I thought I was a football player. I loved playing football. I was always in sports. I couldn't imagine being the alpha stud athlete in high school. You were that dude, man. What was that like being in high school, being a D1 prospect?
Coming up, I was, always the biggest, fastest kid. I was always the youngest kid, but I was always bigger and faster than most people. And then when I got to high school, I just kept growing, and I got offered a full scholarship as a freshman after I played the last 3 games of varsity football, and I kind of knew that was going to be my pathway, and I just made sure I focused on that. I literally quit playing baseball and basketball after my freshman year. I still say I wish I still played those sports because I loved them, but I made sure I put all my focus towards football, and that was with weight room sessions, all the off-season workouts, just to make sure that just because I was the best player on the team, I wanted to try to be the best player in the country because I just always knew that there was someone out there working that's getting better than me, and if I was letting them get better than me, I wasn't doing my job.
So you were always someone who really always aspired for more, and you always had a crazy work ethic, and that was always instilled in you?
My mom put it in me at a young age, and I always loved to tell the story when I was 10 years old. I had the same routine every day. I would come home, hurry up, do my homework, and run to the park and play, and then when my mom would get out of work, she'll come pick me up from the park, and whatever sport it was at that time, football, baseball, basketball, I had to go to practice. Well, one day I was feeling myself a little bit. I knew I was the best player.
Dude.
I'm not going to practice. I have to show up for the game on Saturday. My mom came in the park and embarrassed me. My friends threw me in the car and said, I don't know who you think you are. Just because you're the best player of the team, you don't think you have to show up for practice? I don't care how good the team is doing or how bad the team is doing. When you commit to something, you see it through. So here I am 20 plus years later. I still remember that commitment level, that lesson of being able to see stuff through. Even when things aren't going your way, that's how you learn how to handle adversity. You learn how to handle success, work as a team, become a leader, all of that.
It's amazing how, there's certain moments you look back in your youth, and it's that there's certain, I've been yelled at countless times by my parents, but there's certain moments in life that instilled certain moral obligations in my life. And it's crazy, that one specific time, probably the public embarrassment, and also being humbled and being wait a second, I have something to achieve and grow. So you got a full ride scholarship offer as a freshman. That was that time when Rutgers was on the up too.
It sure was.
That shit was probably sick when you got a scholarship. Was Shiano there and all that too?
Shiano was there. So this is how it was, because you're not actually allowed to officially get offered until junior. So it was written on a piece of paper that on September 1st of 2006, Eric Legrand will be offered an official full scholarship to Rutgers University, but we're giving you a verbal offer today. And it was the craziest thing to I remember I had to float back to Spanish class after that. I was like, how do you go back to Spanish class after that? And like that just happened. It was amazing. But yes, during that time, the 06 season, the Rutgers was on the rise. They were on the come up. I was a junior in high school when that season happened, 06 season, then the senior year. When they beat South Florida, so I stormed the field both games.
No way, dude. Oh, so you were there?
Oh, both games.
That's sick, dude. That was probably electric.
I thought I was going to die. And it was in the middle of November, too, when it's cold. But when you got in the middle of that crowd.
Yeah, it's probably overwhelming. It's like claustrophobic.
I couldn't breathe. I was like, yeah, someone's getting carried out because they passed out. I'm like, what the hell is going on? But
that was iconic, dude. That like put Rutgers on the map, like, nationwide.
Everywhere.
We were always like a forgotten school.
Pandemonium in Piscataway, man. That was just a special time. I remember just the lead up to that game, like Coach Shannon was ordering pizza for like all the students out there. There was 10,000 students lined up for the tickets. Just the electricity around this state university at that time. That's why I know if we can get back to that, the state will support. We've seen it happening before. So now the program is on its way back. So
do you think it's on the way back?
I truly do. I'm telling you, we're going to get 9 wins this year, and that's including the bowl game. You know, with the way that the schedule is lined up and the way that I see this team and Coach Shannon developing them guys, I'm telling you, they're on the rise.
Is that during those experiences because you probably got offers from multiple schools. Was there any school that you were indecisive between?
No, I grew up actually in Miami Hurricane fan, which is crazy. I had planned to go down to Miami, Florida State of Florida. I did go out to visit Notre Dame, and I got to see what that was like. Being out there with Touchdown Jesus and all that stuff and going to the College Football Hall of Fame. So that was pretty cool to be out there. I went to Virginia, and I also visited Maryland. So it was all up in the air for a little bit, but the people that showed me the most persistence and that they really genuinely, I felt that care and that family atmosphere about me was Rutgers. And I'm like, I'm a Jersey guy. I'm 20 minutes away from campus. Where am I going? Yeah,
that's dope, man. And then it was in, it's a moment in life that I'm assuming that a moment in your life that you get asked about all the time, but I really want to take us back to October 16th, 2010. What was that day like for you?
I mean, everything was normal leading up to the game. We did my regular routines, what I would do before pregame, warm-ups and my rituals, and then go out there. And we were playing at MetLife Stadium, which had just opened up at the time, which is crazy to think. It's probably about 15 years old now, but we were playing there, and it was like we're going back and forth with the Army Black Knights, and it's just such a close game. 17-17 with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I had to run down on kickoff, hundreds of times before that. It was just a normal play. But the way I ran down, I remember I said I got through the first 2 guys that were going to block me. I'm like, all right, this is about to be a big collision. I didn't want to use my head on the play. I wanted to tackle Malcolm Brown with my shoulder. But when I put my head down, he got tripped up by one of my teammates and his body twirled in the air. And it changed the whole trajectory because everyone knows that when you play football, you see what you hit, you keep your head up. I didn't think my head was going to be in the tackle at all, and the crown of my head right into the back of Malcolm's shoulder blade. He actually fractured his collarbone in that play, and then I fractured my C3, C4 vertebrae. And honestly, scariest moment of my life.
Mm-hmm. What was that moment? What was going through your mind at that time when you were there?
Thought I was going to die. I mean, I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Coach Shannon was telling me I have to pray. The trainer was asking me, can I feel this? Can I feel that? Can't feel any of it. It was a scary moment. At one point, I closed my eyes and I said, God, take me at ease. And nothing happened after that. So I started panicking, opened my eyes, and then they brought the stretcher out. They lifted me up onto the cart, and somehow I caught a gasp of air because it felt like I just knocked the wind out of myself, and I had a full-body stinger. And then I went to give a thumbs up to the crowd and couldn't move my hands. Just felt like the weight of the world was on it, and didn't know where my life was going to take me after that.
Do you remember the trip from the stadium to the hospital?
They say, I love to tell this story because people ask me, like, how did you deal with those first initial moments and days after your injury? And I always say, I don't remember much because I was so out of it, and especially when I went into the surgery. Like, I remember getting to the hospital, looking up and seeing a bunch of lights as I'm getting carted down the hallway. Then I blacked out, and I wake up, like anywhere near the movie, it's like, dum, 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 that heartbeat. It was real. I remember being in one of the rooms, whatever they had me, and all the doctors and nurses were in there. And then I blacked out, and then I wake up again, and I'm in that same room by myself with just monitors and sounds going off. And then I don't remember much until Wednesday, and the injury happened on Saturday. And I always say, like, my mom, my family, my teammates that were there, they went through it. They were fully coherent. They knew what was going on. So I always try to tell people, like, I actually feel for them because they knew what was going on. Me, I was so highly medicated, I had no idea what was actually happening.
It's so beautiful that you even just said, I felt for them. Like, that's just, it's amazing that you even have empathy for them, that they had to go through the experience as a spectator during that experience. Were you always a religious person? Like, are you religious? Are you spiritual? Like, how?
Yeah, I have my faith, definitely. You know, I always have a special relationship with God. Am I in church every Sunday? No, but do I listen to my Bible app every day? Yes, I do. I have my faith and my belief that, you know, if you do good in this world, you put good out there, good things will come your way. And even through moments where your life gets flipped and turned upside down, everything truly happens for a reason, and there's a higher purpose in this life. And I was looking down on all of us with a plan, so I just try to be the best that I could be and just be as genuine as possible and live my life to the fullest.
I love that, man. Is there any particular moment in time when the support of others made a significant difference on you during that time, during the beginning stages of being in the hospital?
I mean, the support was everything for me. That's exactly what I needed. It helped uplift me because I remember my mom told everyone who goes into my room has to have an upbeat, positive attitude, and that's exactly what happened. Everyone that came in there was upbeat, uplifted, positive, like, you're going to be fine, we're going to get you through this. And that's what I needed, you know, just that power of positivity, power of prayer, just to help me get through those initial moments. And me, I've always been that type of person, like, okay, this is a challenge that I have to accept, and I want to go after whatever I can control. Believe me, I'm going to control. If it's in my hand, it's going to get done. You know, if it's, obviously a lot of things aren't in my hand in this situation, but whatever I can control, I will make sure I do that. And at that time, it was just my attitude and just being able to prepare myself mentally for this long journey ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, you've already overcome a lot of different obstacles. I was reading into your story that you, even from the beginning, it was very difficult for you to breathe. Like, people didn't know if you would be able to breathe on your own or consume food, correct?
Yep, I'll never forget one of my first workouts at Kessler Institute, where I was at West Orange, New Jersey, for my inpatient rehab. You go from benching 415 pounds.
Damn, bro, you're benching 415? That's a big boy.
To that, putting a balloon on my stomach and then telling me to inhale and exhale and try to hold it. I'm like, what the, like, this is not the workout that I'm used to, but it was the hardest thing in the world at that time because my diaphragm was initially paralyzed, and now you're trying to see what's going to come back. So you're like trying to breathe in and then breathe out and hold it, and I'm just like, I felt like I just ran a marathon trying to
No way.
It was insane. With a little balloon on my stomach, just trying to hold it up.
Wow, that's crazy. Talk about like the full circle thought. But how did you continue to push through those moments? You know, not put yourself being like, what the fuck? I'm supposed to be benching 415, and right now I'm doing this balloon workout. How did you push through those moments mentally?
Literally, I say being an athlete has trained me and has strengthened my mental toughness beyond measures I could even imagine because of what we endure just being a football player, just being an athlete in general. You think about it, in football, you get 12 opportunities to actually play the game, the actual 60-minute game, compared to all the off-season workouts, the discipline that it takes to dealing with success, learning how to fail and pick yourself back up, self-evaluation periods of teamwork, and this, all that stuff that get implemented during those 355 days of the year, whatever, 353 days of the year, and then you get those 12 opportunities to play the game. It's all that stuff that sets you up for life. In general, how to deal with these types of things when things aren't going well, or how to set a goal and attain that's long term. Because a lot of times, especially in this world now, everyone wants instant gratification. They want it right now. You know, when it's something like this, guess what? It's not going to happen right now. It's going to take time, preparation, hard work, dedication, and when that newness wears off, that's what separates a lot of people. Everyone wants to do something in this world, and when, like, oh yeah, they get all excited for it, but when that newness wears off, do they have the dedication and keep on pushing forward? And that's kind of how I attacked my injury. Like, in the beginning, all the support was great, people were helping me, but after a while, you know, that stuff fades away. Well, I had the discipline in myself to keep pushing on a daily basis, keep grinding, making sure that I'm keeping myself healthy, keeping myself strong enough to be able, when that cure does come, I'll be able to be ready for it. And it's not easy, but like I said, I felt like I was built for this.
Fuck yeah, bro. You made me want to fucking go through a wall, dude. I love that, man, because it's so true, especially the newness. That's such a deep thought, and it's so true because, like, you know, everyone likes that new job or when they find a new workout class that they enjoy or anything, or this, you know, with a book and they're reading it and they're into it and they're like, they don't want to finish it. You know, they don't want to finish that aspect, or even in a relationship. You know, there's certain aspects that, like, you got to push through adversity to get to the other side of things. During your journey, you got massive attention, you know? Was that overwhelming? Because while you were getting so much public notoriety, I remember you were a household name, you know, and you still are. But at the time, I just remember I was 20 myself, and I remember just seeing you all over. You're on cover of Sports Illustrated, you know, you're on these different magazines, and all these celebrities and politicians, you know, reaching out to you. Well, how did you go through that part of your life?
It was actually it was insane for a little bit, but I always said I was always be true to myself, and what you see is what you get with me. I don't sugarcoat anything. And I said, you know, you're meeting all these different celebrities and politicians, this and that, but they're regular people too. They're just like you and I. So when you actually get to have conversations with them, and you just, you know, you're shooting the shit with each other, you're like, you know what, you know, we're just regular people too, even though they may be as high as you level on the procedures, of whether if they're your president of the United States or they're at the top of their acting game, this and that, but they're regular people. And I guess when more and more attention was coming towards my story, it kind of motivated me. I'm like, because now I'm like, how can I let all these people down? Like, I got all these people wishing me well, wanting to have me on this show, this appearance, doing this and that. Like, how can I give up on myself? And then how can I give up on all of these people that are wishing me well and wanting me to, you know, get back on my feet and finish that play? And like I said, when I was the type of person where if it's my responsibility to get it done, I have to do it. It's just I've always been like that. And that's kind of how I attacked this. And while all this, you know, media was coming towards me, it was kind of cool to be able to share my story with other people, because I was also introduced to a world of spinal cord injuries I had no idea about. I was stuck in my little bubble in Piscataway, New Jersey, playing football. Yeah. And then you get into the real world and you see people go through some real life shit. I got all this support. Meanwhile, some people don't have anybody there for them. Nobody there supporting them, getting put in nursing homes at 25 years old because they can't have their house all rebuilt. Like you see, my house is all, you know, modified for me, rebuilt. Like, people don't have that. And it put a lot of things in perspective for me and made me say, you know what, I'm going to be appreciative for everything I do have, because on a daily basis, I'm reminded on how worse it could be. Yeah,
that's beautiful, man. And I think, so during that time, you know, you were interacting with all these different walks of life, and people that went through similar experiences as you without a similar, you know, support system. Is that what got you involved in creating Team Legrand? What was that? How did that go about creating that?
So during about 2 years of my injury, I had people reaching out to me still like, Eric, what can we do to help you? Like, what can we do to help, you know, your mission and all the people that are dealing with these injuries? Because I feel like my knit people that were around me, like my close knit people, they started to see these stories as well that they never even heard of before, or even thought of other people with spinal cord injuries, and they want to get back and help. That's my Rutgers community, my family and friends from my hometown. Like, what can we do to help? So I remember the Christopher and Dana Reed Foundation people had reached out to me in the very beginning of my injury, just offering up support, guidance, whatever when they needed, and because they know it's a life-changing moment that happened to you. So I remember Miles said, my mom said, "Ma, why don't we reach out to those Christopher and Dana Reed folks? You know, let's start a foundation and start giving back to his community." And I actually didn't know who Christopher Reed was.
No way.
I didn't know who he was at the time. We were young.
Yeah, dude, I get it. I remember seeing like one thing about him as a kid, dude.
And then I looked him up. And
old Superman.
Exactly. I said, I probably should know who he is. And he's from Princeton, New Jersey, too.
Oh, I didn't know he's a Jersey guy.
Jersey guy. So that's why I was even mad at myself.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But after a while, then I did my research, and then we formed a foundation in the fall of 2013 just to be able to give back. We were closing on $3 million raised since that time.
Wow.
And it's just, we want to just get more people around, because I say people with spinal cord injuries, it doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anybody at any given time, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So I just want to bring as much awareness to it, and also be able to find that cure one day so we can live Christopher Reed's dream, and that's an empty world of empty wheelchairs.
I love that, man. That's beautiful, dude. Is there any moment that you're the most proud of that Team Legrand has been able to be a part of and help others?
There's been so many different collaborations, which is awesome to see, to think about all the people that we've worked with on other foundations, business organizations. Somehow, so many people love to get the foundation involved. And, you know, it's hard to like pin out one example, because we've done so much between my walk. Like I have my 5K walk is always the biggest event that we did. We're actually changing it up a little bit this year, where we're actually doing it on a Rutgers game. We're asking people to do the 5K on their own, and we're doing like a celebration for a football game that year. And we're all going to walk down the boardwalk at a football on September 7th.
Yes.
That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be sick.
But like the lady Arlene Gonzalez who started it, knew not a lick about football, but she saw my story on the news, came to the hospital where I was at, and said, I want to do something for you. And, you know, people say that all the time, I want to do something.
Yeah.
How many people follow through?
Yes.
She went beyond, above and beyond, and then just reached out to the Rutgers football community, got in touch with a guy by the name of Kevin McConnell, who's the chief of staff back there now. And he thought she wanted to do like a cookie or bake sale or something like to raise some money. And she goes, no, we got to do something bigger. And she created a 5K Walk to Believe. And it has grown and grown and grown. And we've raised over $1 million just with this event.
Wow.
Yeah, it's our biggest event each year. And we're going on year 14. So it's been quite the journey with that. And I would say like I said, there's been so many that it's hard to just pin out one. But that's our biggest event every year. And without her starting that, you know, who knows where the foundation would be.
Her starting it and you continue leading it as well in the ways that you do. You know, you did mention that you met a bunch of different politicians and athletes and celebrities. Is there anything that stands out that was the most impactful to you, that you were shocked that they reached out to you, or maybe the words of wisdom that they provided for you?
I would say I've met quite a few people, and people like, so who's the coolest celebrity you've met? I always say, like, well, coolest and genuine. Like, Tim Tebow was actually very genuine when I met him. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember I'm a diehard Broncos fan, and he was with the Broncos, and I was out there after a game, and he's literally, when no cameras are around, he's out there hanging out with a family, with somebody I believe she had cerebral palsy, out there playing catch with their family for 45 minutes after a game was over, and no cameras around and nothing. I'm like, that's what you'd like to see. But the coolest I still would say is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, bro.
That's my guy. That man works his ass off. And I'll never forget, I got invited down to the Ballers premiere. I was doing this show with Fox Sports at the time. We were doing this show called Mission Possible, where I was a host of a show going into other people's lives that have some sort of disability and be able to share that platform with them and give them a cool experience. So we were down there with a Miami Heat wheelchair basketball player. And we went into the Ballers premiere. We got invited to the Ballers premiere for HBO. And I remember getting on the red carpet. It was hot as hell out there. Dying. And I'll never forget it. I roll in there, finally get some AC. And everyone's like, The Rock is about to show up. And everyone's going crazy. The Rock comes in his little three-piece suit, grabs the biggest towel I've ever seen, walks and wipes his whole face off. And as soon as he comes out from behind the towel, he looks and he sees me. And then he turns his head and goes, I was like, oh, shit. And he walked beeline right to me. And he was like, Eric, thanks so much for coming out. I know all about you and your story. You're a huge inspiration. The football community has your back. I'm like, holy shit. That's insane. Like, just insane. And from there, we just, like, stay friends, like, tweets back and forth every now and then at each other. You know, it's been just amazing just to see that. And that's what I say, the highest of high celebrity, just a regular person too. Yeah,
man. But also, like you said too, of how hard he works, and you know, and it's awesome. Says about you as a person of why he just beeline to you specifically, man. That's sick.
Insane. He literally did a double take, and then walked right at me. And I was like, oh, like, whoa.
That's awesome, man. You know, it's crazy because I feel like there's so many people that look to you for inspiration, and it's so sad that sometimes I feel that sometimes the inner voices in our mind are the biggest demons out there, or our biggest enemies. And internally, how do you fight those inner demons? How do you push through that adversity in your own mind? Or what advice would you give to others?
I feel like I wake up with a purpose every day, from what I started, whether if it's with my coffee shop and have a responsibility of my employees and all the customers that go through there, or with the whiskey and trying to be able to, you know, take this as far as we can and break down stigmas of someone with a disability that you can't enjoy the finer things in life, like a cocktail and stuff like that. And able to one day take care of my family with this business. You know, I feel like that I had those purposes. So when you get those inner demons, it's like, okay, you know, I wish I could be doing this, or I wish I could, like, just jump in my car and drive up to you and be there. Like, when you get in those down moments, I always look back on how far I've came, my purpose going forward, how many people are looking up to me, and then I reflect back. I draw motivation from some of my friends that have a similar injury as me, that just don't have anything, and I use them as motivation, and that kind of gets me out of that funk sometimes when they're just deep down and just like, damn, I wish I could be doing this, or I wish I could do that type of stuff, and it helps me. And then one thing I always try to tell people too, creating habits is huge. Something that you can do every single day that you thoroughly enjoy. Obviously, something that's not harmful, but something that you thoroughly enjoy doing every day. Make sure you do that because trained behavior becomes instinct and it gives you something to look forward to every day. Mine is TV shows. I am a night owl. I don't go to bed until 1:30 every day. Well, every night, I should say.
Yeah.
Go to bed at 1:30 in the morning, and I get up around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And every night before bed, I got to put on a TV show just to take my mind away from everything that happened in the day. Just gives me that 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, it's a release from reality.
Exactly. And that's just helping me. If you like working out, if you like reading a book, you like cooking, you hanging, whatever it is, do that one thing every single day. That way you always have something to look forward to through all the craziness that's going to happen throughout your day.
Yeah, and they almost simplify it all. What show are you binging right now?
Oh my God! So they dropped some new shows on Apple TV Plus that I've been all in.
Apple TV is like the new HBO.
They dropped something so Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal. I've been on. It comes on every Tuesday. Been crushing that one. And then they had Defending Jacob on there, which I just actually finished up, which I really liked. And then there's enough. I've been crushing Apple TV. Then waiting for my Game of Thrones. Obviously, just came back with House of Dragons. I always tell people because people hopped on the bandwagon of Game of Thrones late. I've been watching that show since season 1, episode 3, every Sunday. Haven't missed one Sunday since season 1, episode 3. So talk about dedication for over a decade to a show. Man. I'm all in on that. House of Dragons is back. I'm all in.
I feel like they're going to create like a new a world or something outside. I think for Universal or something like that. I heard. I mean, you want to do something,
like
right?
They did with Harry Potter and stuff. So the way that this is going and how much money they're making now, and they keep on having more prequel episodes that they're like storylines behind the whole Game of Thrones part. That's awesome.
That's sick, man. You mentioned the coffee and the whiskey. Obviously, as our podcast, Outliers Menu Podcast, what we do is we hyper focus on entrepreneurs and inspirational figures on the food and beverage space. So your story was just so inspiring that I need to talk to you. And then on top of that, I look at your businesses. I'm like, dude, this guy has a coffee shop. He has a whiskey brand and many more things. So the coffee, what made you open up the coffee shop? That was your first entrepreneur venture besides Team Legrand, correct?
Yeah. I did do a Shop 52 apparel company, but that was just like a few T-shirts and you just kicked it out to the public. That was my first really step into entrepreneurship side, but it wasn't like I was trying to grow that into something. It was just trying to get some merch.
Yeah, just trying to figure out what the next thing is. So you essentially just dipped your foot into the entrepreneur world with apparel, and then it was like
coffee was there. That was jumping into the ocean.
Yeah.
I was diving into the ocean because I didn't have a damn clue about anything with business. I didn't have a family that was raised, as a family-owned business. I didn't go to business school. I just was bored during the pandemic. I was tired of watching TV. Started listening to some books on audio, just listening to them and getting some motivation. I just wanted to find a way to bring people together because the world was going crazy in 2020. So I literally said to myself, I have a T-shirt company, but how often do you wear T-shirts? Every 2-3 weeks? Yeah. Like, what could I bring? How could I put my little spin of inspirational motivation on people on a daily basis? So I said, what do they want and what do they need? Coffee. People need coffee every day. 85% of the world drinks coffee. So I said, all right, well, I never had a cup of coffee. So I tried my first cup of coffee in August of 2020. Shit was good. I was missing out for a very long time. I was 29 years old. I had my first cup of coffee. I'm like, this is actually pretty cool.
I now understand why people are addicted.
I was zipping up and down my street. I'll never forget that. It was like, whoa, this is a rush.
So it's like, you see Eric Legrand just fucking flying down the street.
Wow, he right down to my
putting down espressos.
Yeah, put the speed up to 7. And so after that, I'm like, I don't know anything about the business. So I literally went on Google, typed in coffee business advisor. And I found my good friend, Matt Mileto, who actually owns Bellissimo Coffee Business Advisor out in Portland, Oregon. And I reached out to him and we had told him what my plan was. I knew and my downtown area was being developed. So I'm like, there's an opportunity. I could open up a brick and mortar store downtown, but I need help. And he guided me along the process. I had to take a course. It took me 4 times until I passed the course. We had to get over 85% before they say that you're ready to jump in. It just took me 4 times.
No way. And which test was it?
It was a test
Serve safe?
Coffee. So no.
Oh, for coffee?
No, it was just a coffee test that his company put together for you. So they put you through all these trainings to learn about the coffee business, how you source it, the brewing process, trying to get opening up the store and make sure, your numbers are correct. they put you through this whole training process. And I remember I was like, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. And like I said, when I failed it 3 times, because I got the first time, I think I got like a 70, then I got like a 77, then I got a 80. I'm like, I got an 80, and I still didn't, because at the time I didn't know what the passing score was until afterwards. He said you have to be over 80.
Yeah, once you got the 80, you're like, all right, what the hell's going on?
I know. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, do I need 100%? So I got over 85% on the 4th time, and I passed. And then right after that, I'm like, you know what? It's going to take about 2 years until this brick and mortar actually opens up, because the building wasn't done yet, and then I have to obviously sign a lease and get the contractors, all that stuff to get in there. I said, I don't want to wait that long. I said, I want to open up our online store first, build the brand nationally, because that's just coffee put in the 12-ounce bags and shipping them, and people will know about the brand, and then they'll get everyone all jazzed up and excited for when the store opens, and it worked out perfectly. We opened up our online store in January of 2021, and our goal is we want to bring unity to the community with a daily cup of belief. And I put that out there, and at that time, the media they were looking for stories because of everything that was going on with the pandemic. It just took off. I was on every show, every platform, just telling what we were doing, what our goal was, and then people were just buying, and brewing their coffee at home until we opened up our brick and mortar on May 14th of 2022. And then we started having people coming to the shop now, so it's been quite the journey. I've learned a lot. I had to fire my first roaster in the first month of business. Should have listened to my business advisor, but I didn't. And I went with somebody who was a friend who thought they can keep up with all the orders and stuff, and told me I need to shut down my website after the first day. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So, yeah, I went through the ups and downs. Definitely got a few more gray hairs now in my head over the past 2-3 years learning this business. But I'll tell you what, I'm having a blast doing it. There's so many different challenges, as you know, running a brick and mortar, and the payroll, and all your cost of goods, and how do you get that stuff down. And like I said, I never had any experience, so I'm just learning as I go. But I love it. I just love that pressure.
I feel like, I don't know if you would relate, if you would agree to this, but like I feel like the food business is also a sport. It's like day in, day out, you bust your ass every single day. You don't know what is predictable, what's not going to happen, and you have to just figure the fuck out, like no matter what. And on top of that, what I love about it too, it's like it's not a solo sport, it's a team. And every single person on your team is extremely important to that role, between your roaster or your front of the house manager or someone who's even just doing the dishes or someone on your marketing team and all of those different components. What's your favorite thing about the food business?
You know, one that go into that me, as you see with me, I can't get behind the counter and make coffee.
Yeah.
So I have to trust my staff, and they have to know my situation. Like, if you guys call out on me, I can just get up and come over there and fill in for you. Like, I rely on you guys, and they all know that, and I take care of my staff because I can't physically do the job myself. But my favorite part honestly about it is the marketing thing, when people are tagging you on social media, like when they're thoroughly enjoying the product, like, this is the best coffee I've ever had, you gotta come try this. That's the gratifying feeling, because it just allows you to all the bullshit that happens behind in the kitchen area to just like, you know what, we're actually putting out a good product. People are coming here enjoying themselves. They're recommending other people to come here. They just fully think, you know what, that person has a great business. I want to support them. And they're giving you great quality product. They're not just putting anything out there to pump up some numbers and try to, bring your costs down where you're just giving somebody dirt water. No, I'm giving you actually good product that we actually enjoy and, make the best of it. That's the most satisfying feeling. But I'll tell you what, ain't nothing worse than being out partying on your birthday, drunk at Donovan's, and manager's calling me, telling me that the refrigerator broke.
Oh my God,
I was like, figure it out. Like, not now. I can't help you right now. I can't.
I love that, man. It just shows like how like real this game is, dude. It's like no matter, and it's just like I think that's the old. Someone asked me recently, like, what don't you like with the food industry? And for me, I would love to hear your response to this. For me, it's just the bullshit. It's like because it's like the mini problems that compound into larger ones. For example, you just said about like refrigeration or equipment breaking down or the call outs. Is there anything like that you just don't like dealing with when it comes to the food business?
Yeah, that stuff, like when the espresso machine needs a new water filtration system, and the person that was supposed to be servicing it every few months told me, oh no, we could do it every year. And I'm like, oh, okay. No, I need it every 3 months. Or when I get a call, that's the worst thing now. Like, when people say they have kids, when their phone rings, they're always like,
yes,
what's going on now with the business?
Yeah.
Every time my phone rings, I'm like, what happened? What's next? Like, did the sink break again? Like, did the bathroom get shut down? Did somebody come in there, destroy or carve something into the mirrors of the bathroom?
Yeah, that's such a fucking relatable thing,
like,
dude. Something small, stupid like that's so annoying, though.
So
and it bothers me. It makes an impact on the business.
My phone rings. I should what happened now? Like, what did somebody do? What that like? So yes, that's the stuff that I really don't like, but. Like I said, I will say there's so much more positive stuff that makes you keep doing it and have a fun. But yeah, it's real. And there's a little bullshit that we got to deal with.
Yeah, and like, bringing it back to football, dude, it's kind of the same thing. Like those moments of adversity only make you stronger. It's like being in the gym and then the game time is those busy days. And when it's successful and you're getting that positive admiration for your business, what didn't you expect before opening up the coffee shop that like you anticipated? Now that you're seeing now, you're like, dude, I had no idea this was going to be this.
As much money probably personally that I had to put it. Yeah. That was the biggest shock. Because at the beginning, you're like, I'm going to open up the business. Here's what it's going to cost. I'm going to figure it out. And then, boom, inflation happens. And then obviously trying to be able to get the supply chain. Oh, that was a mess. Trying to get things in on time. Opening up the business. Okay, now we're opening. Things are going, oh, Eric, this just happened, blah, blah, blah. All right, now I got to throw some more money of my own in here so we can cost it up. And then you're like, wow, when is this business going to be able to be sustainable? I have to put my own money in it. Things like that people don't see. That was probably be the biggest shock. Because I'm thinking, okay, here's the plan, here's the script, and then that's how we can go off of that. No, that script is scribbled, written. Well, the pages are missing in the book. It never goes as smoothly as you think. And that was probably the biggest surprise because I literally went into the game thinking, okay, it's going to be this, and it ended up being that, and that.
Yeah. What advice would you give to others that are trying to open up a coffee shop?
I would tell them, stay in the game through the good days and the bad days. I remember our first year, we opened up in May. Didn't realize in the restaurant business that July and August are like dead periods because people are traveling.
Especially in Jersey, everyone's going on the shore.
Yeah, on the shore. I'll never forget those first 2 months. Well, May and June were great because we just opened. Then July and August came, and I'm like, why did our numbers dip down so much? So being able to come through with the waves, the good, the bad, then when you start to develop a brand, you start offering great products, you start to see how no matter what time of the year now, people are coming. So I would tell people there will be ups and downs at the very beginning. Do not get discouraged. Keep staying on putting out a good product, coming up with different ideas, collaborations with businesses, and being able to network with each other, market with each other, because I think that has been huge for us as well, working with other businesses. As a business like Math Top Buns, we actually we did a collaboration with them twice now. They came to my shop and we created a cinnamon bun latte, the Math Top Bun latte that day for the event. We haven't took it off the menu since. It's our number one specialty selling drink.
No way.
Which we never would have had on the menu if it wasn't for that collaboration. Now that's the
most popular one.
Most every day. Every day I look at my square system, look at the numbers. I'm like, this thing just does number. It just doesn't stop. Like this thing's never coming off the menu.
Hell yeah.
So like things like that. So I always tell people, if you can handle the ups and downs mentally, and yes, you're going to have some sleepless nights, just keep pushing because if you are doing the right things and putting the right product out there, things will get better for you and they will start to come your way.
I think another aspect of your success, and I admire it, is that you're really you embody the collaboration component. I feel like you do so many collaborations. I feel like that's like your secret weapon.
It really, people can,
right? Math Top Bun's a perfect example of that.
A lot is crazy because a lot of people have reached out to me, and I think they reach out to me because they see I'm genuine. Yeah. I'm working hard. I'm busting my ass just like that, man. And if like, you know what? I want to be a part of that. I want to help Eric or him help us. And it's just the way it is. I got a few collaborations coming up now, and even with the whiskey. We're creating ice cream with whiskey.
I saw that, dude.
Peanut butter bourbon with Nicholas Creamery. Like, it's so cool to see where the collaborations can go. So as you said, the food and beverage department, there's always something where there can be like collab, whether it fits with the coffee or with my bourbon now. There's so many things that can happen, so I'm always down.
Bro, you're like the like back in the day. I don't know if you remember, but like you would hear Lil Wayne on every single track. He did collaborations with everybody. That's Eric Legrand right now.
He dropped a new mixtape every week.
Every week. It doesn't matter what that genre was. It was country, pop, rap, didn't matter. Lil Wayne was on that track, and now that's Eric Legrand and Food and Bev. Because first it was the coffee, and now I'm seeing whiskey. You know, I do know your business partner, Brian Axelrod. He's a really good guy. Shout out to Brian. How did that relationship start? How did what made you be like, all right, I love coffee, now let me get into whiskey?
Yeah,
What was your thought process in that?
My thought process the whole thing was going out and about and having cocktails and people being shocked that I can drink and get after it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean that. Yes, I do know some people with disabilities, they have medications and stuff when they can't, but that's not everybody.
Yeah.
I can. So I enjoy myself when I go out, and I remember when I was in my younger 20s, used to rip shots of Jack, and then got into tequila in my late 20s, and then I feel like when I hit 30 now, I became an adult.
Yeah, that's the
Exactly that 30 to 65 range. Yeah, that's where now the bourbon comes in, and I just felt like it's something that fits me. You know, it takes time and patience to make. You can't make bourbon overnight like you can a gin and a vodka. It takes time, patience, precision, aging in those barrels. It's something that's tough and gritty, and then it's something at the end of the night you raise your glass to after a long, tough day of work. You pour a glass of bourbon on the rocks, and you sip away, and then get a good night's sleep after that.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And I reached out to Brian about the idea. And I was like, Brian, I'm trying to get into the spirits business. He goes, yeah, you and everyone else, especially after just coming off from working with the likes of Conor McGregor and Jay-Z and what they're able to do.
That's what he did, right?
Yeah, he worked with them. Yeah, and so I'm sure he hears pictures all the time from people.
Yeah.
So then he goes, let me sleep on this idea. And he came back to me the next day. He goes, you know what? You got something, a unique story that's not going anywhere. You have a mission, you have a purpose, you have a foundation behind it. I think we could really do a lot of things, change not only your life, but so many other people's lives with this business. And like I said, the story's not going anywhere. Let's do this together. And Brian has all the interconnections behind the brand on how to be able to build a brand without overpaying and doing the things, because he's learned so much, because it's all he knows is the spirit business. Me, obviously, I have the marketing, my story, who I am, people wanting to support that, and you put us both together. And it's crazy to say, we've been working together now for 3.5 years on this, and we haven't even had one argument yet.
No way, man.
No arguments, nothing. It's just like we're just so easy to work with each other. We just go with the flow and just, I stay in my lane, do my job. He does his stuff out in the back end and work perfectly well together. Hopefully one day we'll blow this thing up and get acquired way down the road somewhere.
Hell yeah, man. It definitely will, dude. Especially the fact that you're not only on top of the marketing aspect, you also are very entrepreneurial. And it seems like you're a student of the game, dude. You're always chilling, willing to learn and figure out, and not, it seems like you're also knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and ask the questions you don't know. Perfect example, the coffee, right? You were like, all right, I know what I'm good at. How do I find someone else and team up with that person? I think that's really smart to do. And same thing with Brian that you did, right? Because I think a lot of times people are trying to start a business. I think it's because of their own insecurities that they don't have confidence enough to be like, let me ask a question. Let me go out and do some research. Let me team up with someone that might be better at this than I am. I'd rather have half a watermelon than a grape.
Yeah, absolutely. Me to myself, I never pat myself on the back, but one thing I will say, I am very confident, and I know what I know, and I ain't afraid to say what I don't know, and I'm not afraid to say if I need help on something. I wasn't going to come into the coffee business and be like, I'm the biggest expert on coffee. My coffee is going to be the greatest thing ever because I know this, and that, because I took a course. I know what's not going to be me. No, I tell you, I failed that course 3 times. I passed out my first time, and I'm still learning each and every day on what we can do with the coffee to make the business better. And same with the whiskey, same thing. Do I know all the back end stuff? And no, I had to learn. And guess who I learned it from? Brian, the back end, the aging, barreling, the pricing, all that type of stuff. I don't have a clue on all of that, but Brian does. And I'm learning as I go, and I can now speak the language. I can talk about it, and I'm going to say I'm an expert, but I can have a conversation with anybody, because now it's part of my business. So I'm always willing to learn and expand and grow from that, because like I said, what you don't know, you don't know. But if you're willing to learn, or if you make a mistake, just don't make the same mistake twice. That's my life.
I'm big on that. I'd say that shit all the time. Everyone makes mistakes. Only idiots repeat them.
Exactly.
That's
don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, you got to just keep on pushing through. What was the bigger learning curve, coffee or whiskey or bourbon?
For me, it was the coffee, because I had a few friends up with me, but I was kind of in the trenches myself, learning like the back end stuff. Obviously, having Brian with all his support with the whiskey and stuff, I didn't have to learn all the back end stuff as much, because he already knew that. So that he always laughs at me. He goes, yeah, you have no idea all the stuff I was dealing with on the back end doing. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. you were the one doing it. And that stuff, because I didn't understand it like you do, and like trying to figure out the cost and stuff, like where to get the product from. Because I'll never forget when we first launched the brand, we had, piling up our investors, because we need to buy the bourbon, the glass, and all that stuff. And we were just telling people on a dream at that time, just believing in Brian and I. And Brian was like, just be patient. Like, how are we pitching investors and they can't even taste the product? He goes, just trust me. Like, we're not going to just rush it and just take anything just to have, like, he goes, people are going to support you because you are. But if the product isn't good in the bottle, they're not coming back. So he goes, just be patient until we land on something. And it was actually a perfect formula. We ended up getting hooked up with a broker, Brindiamo out of Tennessee, who hooked us up with Bardstown out in Kentucky, and they had just gotten some juice from Green River Distillery. They sent it to us, and we tried it. It was liquid gold. I'm like, damn, I guess you're right. All this patience, the time paid off. And, I mean, what we're putting out there in the product now, I feel like it can hold up to the highest standards of the bourbon world, and I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah, man. When you were doing the bourbon tasting, was it the final product was the one that you sampled? Was that the final product?
So they sent it to us at 115 proof, and I'm like, that's hot. Bro, I remember I thought when I took a sip, I'm like, this is about to taste like rum and alcohol. I took a sip, I was like, hold on, let me try some more of that. And it went down smooth, and I said, I want something that was smooth, something you can drink multiple drinks. I'm not something that you take one, you're like, all right, that's it, I can't have any more. And I'm like, wow, this is actually very good at 115 proof. And Brian said, we're going to proof it down to 88 to make it even more smoother, and people really will take to it, and it'll be more versatile. You can put it up in a cocktail. Like, the higher the proof, you don't want to put it in cocktails. Like, over 100 proof, and like, you're not trying to mix the cocktails with that. So we proofed it down to 88, and I'm like, this is amazing. So then once we tried it there, we're like, all right, we're going to bottle it at that. But when it comes to the bourbon world and the versatility, like, we're going to drop some really cool stuff, some barrel-proof stuff for the holidays, where people in the bourbon world, they go nuts over this type of stuff when the proofing is over 100. Like I said, you can mix it with cocktails. You can drink it neat. You can drink it on the rocks. There's so many different things you can do with bourbon. It's just why we picked this category, because of the versatility.
What do you like the most? Which is there a cocktail you like to drink it on, like as a shot? What do you like to drink it as?
So I'm going to show about the generous side right now. I could do unbelievable amount of shots. Like you say, I can get 12 to 15 deep in shots.
Damn, bro.
And people, see, I can have 2 cocktails.
I'd have to sit on your lap, bro, to get wheeled out of here.
I don't know
not
what
be
it
able
is.
to do that.
I drink 2 cocktails, and then like obviously when you got cocktails of sugar or something, all right, I'm done after 2. But shots straight, boom. And then when I go out, when I know it's gonna be one of those nights, I say, he's in rare form. Here we go.
Do you carb up before?
I should, but sometimes I don't eat, and if I don't eat beforehand, it probably be a 10 shot. Before, I get the 15. And people are like, you're doing shots of bourbon. I'm like, I don't care. I love it. I don't care.
Give me that Legrand whiskey.
Exactly.
I like that. Dude. How about coffee wise? What's your favorite coffee?
So me,
is there a coffee cocktail or?
So we haven't done the coffee cocktail yet. We've tried it, but we haven't put anything to market with it. And when we do, it's gonna be fire. But I always say with my coffee business, like here, like I have my hot cup of coffee in the morning, a little bit of creamer, no sugar. That's it. Just a tiny bit of creamer, and I'm good to go. I go to my shop. My barista's always got something new for me to try. I leave there with a stomachache half the time because, all these different lattes and the cold brew. I mean, my team over there, they're amazing. They do everything, come up with the menu. They try and experience stuff, and they're like, Eric, why don't you try this? Where's they get this for the summer menu? We want to put this on the fall menu. What about the St. Patrick's Day menu? Here I am drinking Lucky Charms lattes. And I'm like, it tastes amazing, but damn, my stomach now for the rest of the day, I got to deal with this. Stomach hurting, but I love it. Like,
that's awesome,
I love
man.
it. So if I'm just natural, if I go over there, whatever we have for a cold brew, like right now, right now we're doing this cold brew, coconut cream cold brew. So that will be my go-to when I go. Like I've tried all the 3 the drinks on the menu. I get the coconut cream cold brew. We just got off of doing for the spring menu, a blueberry cold brew. That thing's so good. It's so filling in your stomach. But that's what, if I have to choose, after I try all the different items on the menu, I'm going to go with whatever the cold brew item is.
Yeah, I'm a big cold brew guy too myself. I like just straight, just black cold brew. Because of the lattes, specialty stuff, they sell. But if you drink too many of them on those tasting days, it's just too much sugar.
Too much sugar. That's what I'm saying. That I tried little bits at the beginning.
Yeah.
I poured in a little cup, and I'll try because I can't have a full 16-ounce cup of all of these specialties.
Dude.
A mess. A mess.
That's awesome, man. How about how do you create your team? How did you create your team at the coffee shop? That was very difficult. It's probably done a lot of times and
It was literally me on Indeed.
Yeah.
I just had my marketing guy, John Archibald, who helps me all our social media, everything you see on there, he does. He set me up with an Indeed account. I went on there, put up the job applications started to come in, and started reading through them, started deciphering, okay, or how do I, because I mean, I know how to interview, but I never interviewed somebody for a job.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Yeah, you're the one who was getting interviewed.
Exactly. I've interviewed people, and I've always wanted to get interviewed, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to ask some questions. I'd ask my business partner, man, I'm like, what are some questions I should be asking for these roles, this and that. You know, put a little sheet together, but I've always been a kind of person, I don't read off a sheet. Even when I do my motivational speaking, you'll never see me write anything down or read off a teleprompter because it doesn't sound natural to me. Everything I do is off the top of my head, off the dome. So I got good at practicing that, and I just started firing off questions to these people. And I would say I hired 15 people in the beginning, which was definitely too much. I found now that 10 area is perfect. 11 gives you the little buffer room if somebody calls out. So we've got, I will say, out of my 15 original, 7 are still open.
Whoa! And when did you open?
May 14, 2022.
Wow, it says a lot about.
7
that's
OGs
awesome, bro.
and
7 and the food business,
Right now,
half of
11,
that.
and we have 11 people right now working.
That's awesome, man. So these are like the 7 really core people.
And
know
we
your
call
story.
The OGs at Legrand Coffee House, the ones that have been there.
Yeah,
since the very
that's a big team, man, for a coffee shop. Must be busy, dude.
It is, I know, and it's crazy.
Because a lot of coffee shops, they might only have 1 person, 2 people.
Exactly, and if we had 1 or 2 people working, people would get upset. Because business, people want to be in and out. So we usually have 2 to 3 per day, and then on the weekends we got about 4, sometimes 5. If it's crazy, we'll have 5 on for about an hour, and then the shift will change. But it gets crazy in there sometimes, especially on the weekends. But usually that 2 to 3 people at a time has been, where we've been finding our success.
How involved are you with the coffee house? Are you like really in it?
Every day. I keep my mom young too. I make my mom do the baking and stuff. Yeah. Keep her young, keep her mind sharp, make her do all of those numbers so she got to
Yeah, now you're giving her the pep talks.
Exactly. Make sure
she's doing her
thing. I tell you what, she gets real point because she'll come and like, Eric, what charge is this in the accounting? What do you mean? She goes, blah, 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 now came out this and that. And then I got to start looking like, oh, she's questioning me. And like asking me if I know, so I know I got to be on my toes with her. Then I start, with her too. So it's been nice to be able to get my mom involved in the business too. Like I said, keeps her sharp, keeps her doing stuff, having a responsibility. Obviously has a big responsibility here, but in the business as well. But I'm definitely, I'm heavily involved every single day. Am I there every day? No. I trust my manager.
Yeah. But your mind is there almost every day.
I mean, my mind is there all day, every day. So from the time we open until we close it, and making sure everything went well that day, looking over the numbers, what we need to do, adjust here, stuff like that.
So Brian was saying that, like, you actually, how do you utilize your phone and all of that? You said you were on Square, like, if you don't, I'm curious.
Absolutely. So I have actually, I took it off before I came down. I have a device that hooks up to the arm of my chair. Yeah. It's like a clamp, almost like this. It brings it right by my face. I put Velcro on the back of my phone, Velcro to the clamp. I Velcro my phone to it, and I use a stylus pen, and it's right in my face. Put the stylus pen in my mouth, and so I do my social media, text, email, calls.
So it's all you.
It's all me. All the stuff you see on my social media, that's on me.
Wow, man.
Emails. So that's why today, when I was saying I had to get ready, I was giving you my mom's information because every morning it's a 2.5-hour process with my nurses in the morning. So that's why if I got to be ready for 11 o'clock, like I'm up at 7:30, making sure I'm getting everything ready for when I get into this. And literally just before you rang my doorbell, I just got done 15 minutes ago, and I was just on my phone going through emails. It's crazy. So I control everything. I'm very blessed to have that, that set up where I can. But it gives me just that independency where I don't need that. Hey, can you send this email? Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? I can do everything myself.
Yeah, it's a whole other world. It's a world right in front of you, and it's the Google Pixel.
So I actually have an iPhone. So I do. We have the Google Pixel. I did stuff with them with the business. Yeah. So all my stuff with my business, the Legrand Coffee House, is the Google Pixel, which has been nice. But my personal phone's an iPhone.
How about have you heard of Neuralink? Have you thought of that? Have you looked into that at all? So Elon Musk is.
Oh, the chip that he's putting in there? Yes. Yeah. He's really trying to see what he could do, actually. But so I didn't know the name of it, but as soon as you said Elon Musk, I know exactly.
Yeah. Would it be something that you'd be like intrigued by
I won't be the guinea pig. But I will, if things work, absolutely. But I'm not.
I'll be the 100th person. I'll be first.
When I catch me trying to everything that comes out, I am not hopping right out there because I'll be sitting there, start switching or something like that. No, I got to be one of the, once it's all the way approved through FDA, then I'll get it.
Good for you, dude. I love that.
I'll wait.
What? I'll wait in the back of the line, man. I am not going first.
Yeah, I am not going first. You ain't catching me first.
That's mad funny, dude. What is your last meal?
My last meal?
Yeah.
Cheeseburger, ketchup only, and a side of French fries.
Bang. From where?
Oh. See, it depends. Like, if we're going like a steakhouse, you get like an Angus steak.
Yeah, but if you can have like any burger in the world, where's that from?
Right off the grill. Barbecue burger, a little barbecue sauce, ketchup, cheese. Oh, and side of fries. I'm a happy man.
Yeah.
I'm 33 years old, but I got a 5-year-old palate. Give me a cheeseburger. Oh, off the grill. There's nothing like a cheeseburger off the barbecue grill. Nothing like it. I don't care what anybody says. You can go to all different restaurants, like I said, this and that, but off the grill, right in the backyard, I'm a happy.
Yo, honestly, that's so funny. It's so true.
I'm into it. If I have one food item, I'm taking my French fries. I'm a potato. I don't care. Give me my French fries.
I'm half Irish, man, so the potato is a piece of my heart. It's funny you said that about the grill with burgers because it's so true. All these burger spots are just like on a flat top. But no, that is better than just like
and
a
charcoal
grill.
I see my old school too with the charcoal. Like we don't have the gas grill. That charcoal taste of the. Stop, see now.
You don't, but that's another thing. You don't want to be first in line for a burger because you don't want that fucking char taste. You know what I'm saying? You want to be like the 5th or 6th person to have that burger. You know what I mean? Especially if she's using that liquid shit and then lighting up the charcoal.
Yeah, I still love
the butane.
Give me it all. I don't care.
This is what we do is we always have like these 2 big questions, which is dinner with 3 people, dead or alive. Who would they be and why?
I want to do dinner with The Rock because we always talked like with a bunch of people around me. I would love to just talk and pick his brain about his work ethic and be one of those outliers that people talk about, you need this amount of hours of sleep, but I feel like people like him, they don't get those 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. How's he able to do it? So I would love to talk with The Rock. Who else would I put in there that I would love to sit there and talk to? That's great. I would say, so I'm going to football-wise, I would love to go meet Peyton Manning. Oh. I mean, I'm a Broncos fan, so I love watching him with my Broncos, but now he's a big business guy.
He's big entrepreneur.
He is a huge
He owns a ton of Papa John's. He's a production company. He has this, he has that.
Our production. Yeah. I would love to pick Peyton's vibe from life. Like, how did you do that after football? And, like, how did you do that during football as well? Because, like, how did you set yourself up while you were still trying to, post-career while you were still on the top of your game? Like, I would love to know that. And then obviously MJ.
Hell yeah.
Man, I would love to talk to MJ, man, because I feel like we would have some hilarious conversations. Talk about degenerate gambling, as well as becoming a billionaire. Like obviously being able to create the brand with the Jordan's brand and things like that. That's taking him to next levels. But would love to be able to just pick his mind on how he moves, and he just moves in silence. Like, he doesn't do interviews. Everything he does is behind the scenes. He's a very low key guy. So I would love to just pick his brain on his business side of it and how he's able to stay relevant. Like, in days now, everyone obviously, the younger generation, LeBron James, LeBron James is the greatest player. How are you 60 years old and still the number 1 selling shoe in the entire world? Like, I would love to know that.
I agree with that, actually, man. That's actually my favorite 3 people. We've done 10 of these, and that was the best 3. Because it was, I think that also the fact they're all associated with sports, all entrepreneur, and like you said, they're all outliers and the GOATs in each of their categories. Exactly. That's dope, man. What is the most impactful advice you've ever been given?
Most impactful advice I would say is that it's this definition. It comes from the John Wooden tree, but our coach Shiano used to make us say it every day. And it's a definition of success. Because everyone has, I feel like, their own definition of success, but this one fits me, and I think it's the best piece of advice. And it's the peace of mind you get knowing you did everything you could to be the best you could be. I'll say it again. It's repeated in my head for years. It's the peace of mind you get and knowing you did everything you could to be the best you could be. So that means after a long day of hard work, you look yourself in the mirror, you say, you know what? I gave it my all out in that work project. I gave it all to my family, my friends. I was attentive. I was there. You should be able to put your head down on that pillow at night and say, you know what? I left it all out there on the table. And if God, we're human, not every day is going to be our best day. If God willing, you wake up that next morning, you say, today I'm going to make it my best day. When you look yourself in the mirror, watch where your life starts to take you. Watch the people that start to gravitate towards you. Watch the opportunities that start to present themselves when you do that over and over and over again. And I think that's the best advice that I can give.
God bless you, man. Thank you. Thank you for like just spending time and being able to spend time with you. And you made a huge impact in my life from watching you from afar. And now, hopefully, I hope you see me as a friend, man. Because
Absolutely.
for real, it was really great to talk to you. And I hope there's many more. And hopefully I'm on the fucking next collaboration with Old Bagel.
I was about to say,
We got no collaboration.
The collaboration is coming to Old Bagel, whether if it's Legrand coffee, Legrand whiskey, we gonna make it happen.
I'm gonna figure it out, man. Eric, thank you so much, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you for
you.
having me. I appreciate you
Thank
guys
you, man.
coming here.
Hell yeah.